Right. You're looking good, yes? Thank you. You're going to come and take a breath. Alright. Music. Yes. Thank you. Let me see. What kind of music can we play? Hello. Yeah. Lolly. Lizzie Querida.
Hello. Thank you for joining. 3 minutes to go.
Yes. Instrumentals. This will be too quiet, too slow. I can see David, I can see Lizzie. Alright, can you just please come and let's get this on? How can I join? This now personal to join, please. Okay. Alright. Is usually they say delay. Huh? So there's usually a delay. Look at it. It's joined. Yeah. So it's to invite him.
I think you send your request.
No, we the one sending the request to him. Alright.
No, you will send the request.
We can see Tola.
Our guest has joined.
Yes.
Tola Seedy. Yeah. I'm not tired. Lights off. Thank you for joining. We can see you. Let me be waving at everybody as I join.
Yeah, life waving. Sent a request to my life, yeah. Hannah. Yeah.
Who?
She sent the request. Yeah, accept her. Yeah.
Come on now. Yes, we can see you. Thank you very much. Don't worry, you're still a part of our face will come into the field. Can you hear us very well?
Yes, you can.
Can you hear us?
Yes, very clear. Thank you. The beautiful queen. Yes. Oh, so good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kemi. Thank you, Tola. It's so good to see you guys. I'm
Good to be here.
seeing big man.
Yes.
Pressure.
My own level of excitement today. Thank you guys as you're joining. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
That should be N6. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Get it up.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's better so that it's as if I'm cutting off your head. And I can't do that. So,
I think we are good to go. Okay.
Thank you, Kunle.
It's not
Thank you,
multimedia.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. As you join me, thank you. So, I think we should get at it. I'm very excited to have you guys here today. Can you guys hear us?
Yeah.
Yes, we are happy to be here too. Thanks for
Good,
inviting us.
good.
In fact, as I'm seeing Tola now, all those are years together in the past where we worked together in the same place. I'm just looking at it. What a beautiful experience to have you virtually.
Yes. And I have no doubt that we're going to have a very amazing time. We're going to learn so much, and I know that Tola is full of humor. So I'm looking forward to a lot of laughing. In fact, when I was setting up my broadcast, I said, come ready to laugh, to learn, and to love marriage more. And looking at the two of you, if I were not married, I feel like getting married.
You know.
It's going to be a wow combo.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it. So let's go.
Thank you, Kenny.
So thank you everyone for joining us today. You can see that our amazing guests, they are here with us, and we're going to just kind of start asking questions so that they can tell us more about themselves. But before we do that, a bit of introduction. This is Dele Uwa Talks Real, and we are on a campaign to let people know that marriage still works. Of recent, there's been a lot of narrative out there, projecting marriage as if marriage is no longer working, as if marriage is scam, marriage is a whole lot of a whole lot of trouble.
Some people say necessary evil.
Yeah, the truth is marriage is not even necessary. But for our concern, our burden is, if you desire to get married, then we don't want the narrative out there to discourage you from doing that, because we have a whole lot of people who are in beautiful marriages, who are enjoying their marriages. I know I'm enjoying mine with you. I'm sure your head is sweating now.
Yeah, I can see me shaking just
And I know that Tola and Kemi are enjoying theirs as well. So really, this campaign is to project working marriages, to show people out there that it's not by force that you must get married, but if you desire to get married, then don't allow the narrative out there to discourage you. Okay. So so today we have the amazing Tola and Kemi Seedy, and they're going to be sharing their love story with us. They're going to be telling us how they've navigated, the different challenges, seasons in their marital journey, how they've overcome those seasons, those challenges, and what they are doing to keep their marriage strong. I mean, they look so yummy and so in love together, man. So I want to hear the secret so that means that I can spice.
Oh, I love that. I think I should do the same thing. Touchy man.
I know. So that we can spice our own marriage more. So I'm not just here to conduct this session. I'm also here to learn. Okay. So you're welcome, sir and ma. So do you want to tell our audience a bit about our guest?
I will say, I will come back to say it later, but what I will say is they are both amazing.
Yep.
They are exceptional at what they do. They are full of wisdom. They deal with life with practicality in their approach is practical and simple. I love the simplicity part of them, and Tola naturally is a teacher.
Yeah.
The wisdom is more than his age, at least with my interaction with her. The wife also, you know, it's like the combo is so strong and it's so amazing. The first time that we met that time, those years, and we have to work together in the place, and we would normally see her, and she's exceptional, beautiful, as you can see.
And very intelligent.
Highly intelligent.
That I know.
Professional.
I mean, honestly.
And we're not saying this just to make anybody feel good about it. This from the heart. This first-hand experience that we're talking about. But that simplicity part, I love it. And love for people, the love for people, I think I cherish that. But I'll come back either at the middle or maybe towards the end to say a whole lot more about our guests. So that's the bit I have to say. That I want it to flow naturally and say it exactly the way it is. Because we say we always keep things
real. Yes, Dele Uwa talks. We keep things real. So let's go. So Tola and Kemi, let's start by you telling us, how did you meet? Or who said that? Oh, you know, how did you meet? Who said I love you first? Where did you meet? I mean, how did it spark? Just tell us the beginning. Starting from the beginning, tell us the beginning. See my rhymes?
Good rhymes. Good rhymes.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for having us here. Confession. She's done a bit of traveling lately, so up till now, we've not even sat down to say what do we want to discuss there. So,
it makes it, I think it's going to make it more real.
Yeah.
Because it's not about scripting here now. It's about just saying it the way it is and for people to relate with it. Like my wife said earlier, you might love the way we're doing our stuff, but there are certain things we've been through. There are different bumpy rides that we've taken together, and this is just us. We don't form, we don't put a front ahead. So just
so it's fine.
Yeah.
No scripting, just
we did.
let it come from the inside.
So I'm saying it now so that the viewers can pray for me, so I don't get. That's the point, really. Okay. That's the first thing. Secondly, we've never agreed on how we met.
We have two different stories on how we met.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But all I can say is she saw me and fell in love. That's the one I know. But how did you meet?
My part of the story, because actually our story is story, and the truth, my story is,
all right.
I met him when we were on campus. I was invited to Daystar Campus Fellowship, and with a friend. So we got there, and for the first time, I saw this guy walk past. He was wearing a blue shirt.
Do you remember the color of his shirt? Kemi?
He was wearing a blue shirt, a light blue shirt, black pants, and black shoes. But
much details.
What color?
Yeah, I'm not supposed to know what color shirt they wear the first time I met you. Please.
When he walked past me, I think I was looking down. I saw his shoes first. So nice shoes. And I remember telling my friend that I really like that guy's shoes. And my friend, the expression on her face was like, what's spectacular about these shoes? I don't think there's anything about these shoes. That was the first time I saw him. But then only for me to now realize that that particular service was when he was being ordained as the pastor of that fellowship. So I'm like, oh my God, how did I like the shoes of the pastor?
Of the pastor.
The pastor. So that was my first time seeing him. And I think the sequel to that story is where he remembers. And that was when in Daystar, we went for a Wednesday service. You were gesticulating and you hit me with your hand. I was passing by and he hit me with his elbow.
It was elbow. So
I didn't know he was talking to somebody. So I was like, "Why did you eat weekend?" He was like, I'm so sorry. And he realized that he couldn't stop saying I'm sorry, and he started calling and all that. That's
Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, continue.
You want to drink water?
Don't worry, I have water.
Okay, so I guess where our stories align is the elbow part. That one, of course, both of us will remember. But before then, the first time I noticed her was in church as well. I was talking with someone. She had come in, greeted the person, and moved on. And in my head, I thought, what kind of person is this one? You saw two people talking, greeted one and walked away.
You don't know best.
So I guess it was, I don't want to blaspheme, but it was the spirit. I don't know which spirit. And I made it that next time she came near me, elbow had to eat her. Maybe for what she did the first time. I don't know. It just happened, you know. And then later she told me that she felt I was apologizing too much for what happened. Interestingly for me, days after, it still felt like something was wrong with my elbow. Like, that was when I realized, okay, maybe this is more than elbow, you know. And now she's the one elbowing me, but it's okay.
Very, very interesting. So at what point, after the elbowing and the sorries, at what point did you say, I love you, I want to marry you? I mean, how did that not come about? And maybe what attracted you to kind of take it from elbowing and sorry to, I love you, I want to marry you?
So I realized after, you know, those feeling pain, feeling angry that I hit somebody and all that. And then one day I said, my prayer can be very, very simple and practical, as you said. So I remember praying and saying to God, this thing is more than ever. I like this girl. Can I go on? You know? And fortunately, we were in similar circles, right? Campus fellowship, same school, although she was on another campus and all that. So we got to see quite a bit. And then we started talking. That was when GSM just came out,
Okay.
right? So I would send messages, call, and then we started talking quite a bit, you know. My sister is on the call. I went to spend time with her in Ibadan where she was schooling. She had a friend who had this United line that was limitless. Yeah. So that phone did for because I'd get on the phone and we'd talk for hours, you know. And so at that point it was clear that we were already beginning to fall for each other. So I remember when I asked her out, and when I wanted to marry her. And I took her to a most exquisite place.
Excuse me, please. I tell the audience. That's when you took me after proposing to me, we jumped on the bike right after. So please.
People should listen to here.
Hello.
I took her to a very exquisite.
He was going to propose to me in tasty fried chicken.
It wasn't even
bus stop.
It wasn't even when I proposed. When I asked you out first.
When you asked me, I was on a soccer way in last.
No, that was when you said yes.
Oh yeah, when you proposed on the Mommy Shomoe, it was at the back of the church. When we eat at the back of the church was when he asked me out. I ran away. I ran to school because I'm like, I think my answer was, if you want to build, I answered with scriptures. You know, we're in church. If you want to build it, won't you first take account?
I don't know. But one part of the conversation that I found interesting was I wasn't even 20 yet. I was on my way to 20. She was on her way to 19. And I had said to her,
that was bold.
I want to marry you. I'm too old to be going from relationship to relationship. Was what I said at that time.
How would I run away?
And then she said, She said that she also felt too old to be doing those, and I was asking her, how old is this
I
one?
don't think.
No, but I ran away after.
Oh, well, because I was a bit of a strange fellow. Do you remember that time that my assistants in fellowship had to stop me one day because we were at somebody's wedding, and you know those wedding receptions that the couple will come in pretty late and all that. And so we went there and I brought out the Bible to show her something I had seen at the wedding. So I was showing her something in the Bible when my friends in school had to call me, guy, they don't do like that. So I was a bit, I mean, she would tell everybody that she bought me my first pair of jeans.
Yes, I did.
I was just waiting for her to buy it. It wasn't like I didn't want to buy it myself.
Really?
You know?
Pictures.
I just gave her the privilege.
Right.
That was how it happened. But yeah, so that was how we started. I was pretty sure from start that I wanted to marry her, and that was it. So unfortunately, we had because we fought. Oh God, we dated for 6 years. We fought. We fought for 5 years, 11 months out of 6 years. But we're just very sure that this was forever. So we made it.
This is quite interesting, you know, that during your courtship years, you fought. Fought in the sense, I want to believe that the fought wasn't physical blow,
Not physical.
but of, disagreement, having different opinions on certain things, right?
I think it's good we clarified.
Oh, sorry. So in our context, usually when we say, oh, they are fighting, somewhere in your head, that's the limit, right? It's a disagreement limit. Thank you for opening my eyes to the fact that there are other kinds of fights. Thank you.
That doesn't mean that's the kind of fight you try to remember.
We also come from very different backgrounds, right? As in our background is different. So our outlook to life of course, has been shaped by where we come from, how we grew up, families we've had, and that has been something we've had to contend with, even through marriage, side dating. But something was
Pause, Kemi, pause. We'll get there because that's the interesting bit. Okay. Because a lot of times you see couples who have different temperaments, different backgrounds, ending up getting married. And then, like myself and my husband, we are very different in so many ways. And this year will be 21 years that we'll be married. And a lot of people kind of wonder, how are you keeping it together? That's one interesting part I would really, like us to get into. But I don't want us to jump the gun, okay?
So before we ask the next question, because somebody said here, if your man, if your man lost things, say moment of truth. I think that's why you are being real with what you're saying earlier. So maybe somebody, as you're watching now, you might also want to drop a comment and share your own experience. Maybe how in the comment section, maybe how you met, if you are married, if you are in a relationship, how you met, and if you are not yet in a relationship, well, how you, I think I just put something there and see how and let us get the engagement going, even as we listen. Thank you. Yeah.
So now with all the, I think your courtship was kind of full of drama from the little you guys have given us now. So how long have you been married and how's the journey been?
Should I answer the question? We've been married 13 years.
Yeah.
And 13, we dated for 6. So that's 19. I'm married for a long time. 19. So that's 19 in total. The journey has been, we've had high highs, we've had low lows, and we've had every other thing in between. The streets, the bads, the ugly, the days we wish, what are we doing here? Or the days we were like, God, I couldn't have gone through life without this guy, So we've had a mirror.
I'm sorry to just cut in. there was a phrase you mentioned now. How did we get here? So you mean at some point you also have that thought, like a question. I hope I've not made a mistake.
Yeah,
How did we get here?
absolutely.
Yes.
That
Because yes, I want people to hear that, because at some point too,
He was asking
I was asking myself whether I actually made a mistake.
and I told you whether you made a mistake or whether you're thinking how you got here, you're stuck with me.
I think I do put it out there, because some people will use that one at that pressure point. They will say, I think I've made a mistake. And that notion alone will make them take that decision and they go their separate ways. That's why I just felt I need to. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude, but just to interrupt that and bring that up.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So you can go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, so we've had our moments as a marriage, and I think it's with everything in life. You would always question, right, if this is the best you've had or this is the best you can have. So we've had those moments as well. And in total, in general, capital of so that I can speak is one thing we are sure of is this is where we want to be, right? Regardless of, so, and that I think has kept us grounded. And the fact that we also have a vision of what we think us do, and it involves both of us. So if I walk away, so what's going to happen to that thing, right? So that also grounded. But in all, I think we've also appreciated the fact that everything is in seasons and moments where we just cannot stand each other. We know that we're gonna ride through that tide and we'll be on the other side. So it can be annoying, but we walk through it.
Cool.
Situation,
okay. Because I'm a sweet guy.
right? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
As you can see.
I think to be the one asking all the questions. So I'm happy to ask the questions anyway. And you're happy to be putting all the adjustments. It means extras. He's happy to put in the extras. So 13 years of marriage, 6 years of courtship, knowing yourselves, each other for 19 years now. I mean, that's a whole lot of years to spend with, to know someone and to want to continue to be with the person. I remember before I got married, I used to be so scared that I was not going to be successful at marriage, because I always wonder, how can I stay with one human being for the rest of my life? Won't I get bored? Won't I get irritated? Won't I get angry and take person and break his head? You know, all sort of things used to run through my mind. So the next question I would like to ask is, so in these, should I add the 6 years? Let's say in these 13 years of marriage, what has been your major challenges? We would like to hear one from you, Tola. I want to hear one from you, Kemi. What has been or what would you classify as your major challenge? How did you navigate through, that challenge? And
Okay, so I think the biggest one for me, the recurring one, is personality, right?
It's a big one.
So outwardly, we can look similar, but we are not. It turns out that the things that energize her are the things that drain my energy. Yes. For it.
Why are you pointing at me?
I didn't say anything.
So, for instance, you know that there was a movie many years ago, I Can Do Bad All By Myself. I can actually be a loner. I can be by myself. Once I have my laptop and my phone, I can be by myself for a few years. I can be good.
I think I understand that bit to some extent. Yes.
He sits on the same spot on our couch every day. You will not see him anywhere else, provided is in this space.
He must mark attendance.
I just thought to roll my eyes at that first.
So I can be like that. right? I can, when I'm tired, I'm not seeing any human being. I don't want to talk when I'm tired. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to, I can be like that. She's the opposite. In fact, when I think about how I can be, then I'm grateful that God pushed me to pastoring. Otherwise, I would not have any friend in the world, actually. Right? I can be like that. The other part to it is I can be quite finicky.
Mm.
My wife is the opposite. So she's more spontaneous. She's she can scatter the house and be fine.
What do you mean?
Okay.
It's
And
called organized chaos.
okay. So she can, yeah.
I like that word. Organized
Thank you.
chaos. I need to note that
He
point.
wants to note it down.
Yeah.
You need to describe it later.
So now, so, and then I would come in, and those are the first things I'm saying. Why is this one here? Why is that one here? Why is, you know? In fact, there was a time that maybe she was doing it deliberately, frustrates me or something. In the beginning of our marriage, it was worse. I'm sure she can't remember. I remember asking her one day that we dated for 6 years. How did I not see these things? You know, it was,
That is great.
and I would freak out, and then it was a few years ago I started learning that these kind of issues are permanent. Accept it. It's personality, right? And I said for a scripture that has helped me a lot. Where there are no oxen, the trough is clean, much increase comes by the strength of an ox. In other words, you want a clean space, don't have oxen. If you're rich, have oxen. But you cannot have both. So if the oxen will help you to be rich, then be ready to clean up the mess.
Mm-hmm.
When you clean up the mess, therefore the advantage they bring to you. And my wife has billions of advantages. So I tell myself, I will enjoy all those ones and cope with the tiny ones. It's not like I'm. So the other day we were driving to church, something happened. I can't remember. And I said to her, this is what you have always done. Can't you stop it? And then she looked at me and said, you're stubborn. Can't you accept it?
Oh my God.
I'm telling all the viewers to pray for me. That's it.
They
Thank the Lord.
they all have their own kettle of fish.
But that's been the biggest part for me. I mean, that's the summary. Personality differences, right? But then I ask myself all the time, would I marry my type? Maybe I would, and then the marriage would have lasted 2 weeks or something, because very difficult to marry, right? Yeah, but that's mine. Do you want to know?
That's very key. Kemi, before you say your side of the story, I just want to kind of, point out some of the very salient things you've mentioned, Sola. You mentioned the fact that one of the biggest challenges is personality differences. And I know a lot of people who are probably having, challenges in their marriage say, oh, our personalities are so different. I mean, we are totally different. I can't cope. But you may have said it in a light-hearted way, but I think it's very deep, really. Yes, you have different temperaments, you have different personalities, but you kind of focus on the other things that are very beneficial, the value that she's bringing from the other characteristics that she has. And then you also kind of worked on yourself and say, a change of perspective is needed here. So if you are going to focus on what is not working, you keep seeing what is not working.
Yeah.
But if you focus on the ones that are working, which in most cases are usually more, but because human nature, we are wired to see what's not working. So then a lot of marriages start having issues, a lot of relationships start having issues because we are focusing on the things that are not working. People tend to forget that nobody is perfect, different temperament, different upbringing, different family culture that we came with to form a new family, a new nation, a new unit. And there's no way we'll be the same. I mean, that's something we all really need to accept. I have accepted that Dele will never be Uwa. Uwa never will be Dele. Again, there are things too that I used to tell him. I say, we've been together now for almost 21 years. We courted for or dated within dates. Within dates, we courted because he never took me anywhere. We courted. we courted for about 3 years. Shouldn't you know these things about me now? But that's life. Will I stop loving him? Will I stop working on our marriage? No. So that's one of the things one of the things we really want to showcase when we bring in, couples like you to say, the fact that your marriage is working, the fact that my marriage is working doesn't mean we are perfect.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you so much. That's so I really wanted to, pull that out.
Yes. And I think even our last guest, Yomi and Bose, this was also another area they also talked about. And I remember us saying that day that differences are not deficiencies, because it's that same difference that people now use and turn around and to create a disempowering thing within themselves. And before you know it, people are going their separate ways.
Yeah.
And so it's a big deal, because hundreds and hundreds of people that we've actually counseled, we notice that this is a major part of it. People try to focus on, when you don't understand each other's personality, if you are not taking advantage and leveraging on each other's strength, what you see people do is you always see this person as the problem. Funny enough, interestingly, the other person to see him or her also as the problem. And as long as each person, I still remember we said this in our last Insta Live, as long as both of them start seeing it from that rigid position, then it will be difficult.
Yeah.
It will be difficult. So quite a number of people that we have to professionally counsel like that will realize these are major areas, and people who chose to work on it and come from the place of understanding and knowing that I cannot change you, you cannot change me. We can encourage each other to improve in our area of weaknesses, but it's not in my place to tell you to change. It's not in your place to tell me to change, but we can collaboratively work out in a way where I can come in to support you. You can come in also to support me. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
You can go on and on with this, but for purpose of time, and so that Kemi can also give her own perspective.
So, Kemi, what has been your biggest challenge, or one of them, and how have you navigated through?
I would say the buzzword communication.
Almighty communication. I call it almighty communication.
That's why I say it's even a buzzword, as in everybody talks about. Even in organizations, communication is always topping the list. How do we align objectives? How do we align on what we want to do? How do you carry the other person along? How do you make sure the person is in the loop? And then how the personality plays out within that as well. Like I said, it doesn't, aside when he's in his zone, and his zone being is a pastor, right? So that's his zone. If you're talking church, my husband can talk all day, every day. If you're talking about soccer, he can talk every day, all day. But there's some things that I would want to chat about that he doesn't have too much to say, or maybe not interested.
They are boring stuff.
It's not boring. You're just not interested. So how that plays out is, then there's also the personality beats. I am a doer. I usually myself as an operations person. I want to do. I just want to go. So a lot of times that comes across in marriage as she's not carrying me along. She's going about her business. She's not consulting me. That is how it comes across. I don't believe in talking too much. Just go do it. So that action, do it. That's so that's as it's something that my husband drives him nuts because he's always saying, Kemi, so when did we get here? Because I have moved. He's waiting for us to have conversation. Me, I've done this. So he's always frustrated, always and in some instances feels undermined, which is a big deal as well, right? And in my mind, I'm like, I'm not undermining you. Like, I'm making your life easy. I just want to move, right? But he's like, no, we need to have a conversation before you move. So communication is a big piece. And I honestly cannot tell you.
Of communication.
Or lack of communication.
Yeah, lack of communication.
Whatever. So that plays out in different ways. So that is something we are still working through. I can't say we've nailed it, right? And there's also the part of when we started this conversation, you said, who said I love you first? I was laughing in my mind. Hey, I can't remember when last did you tell me you love me?
I love you.
So I
When last did you? Oh my God!
I just did.
was
I just did now.
so
That's tricky. That's tricky. Don't be.
wait now.
I love
Calm
you. I
down.
love you. I love you.
Calm down, calm down.
So okay. Sorry, Kenny. Before you said I love you now, when last before this time around?
Yesterday?
I think like 2 or 3 days ago in text.
Okay.
And it was weird because usually I'm the one to say I love you first. And for my husband to text me and say I love you, I noticed that he said it first.
You forgot the other ones, that's why.
Yeah. Okay. So where I'm going to with this is in our early years of marriage, it got to me that it wasn't vocalizing and verbalizing and affirming his love for me. It was
Wait, please wait. Can you tell us what's going on there, please?
I've said my own too before.
What did you say?
When you don't verbalize it, it's trouble. It's trouble. And I say that I love you. It's trouble because, when we look at it logically, when we look at it in a logical way, in my mind, I just look at it logically. If I don't love this person, why would I commit the rest of my life? Why would I commit spending the rest of my life with this person? And that's the thing in my head. But I learned it in a way that she had to make it clear to me, and over time understood that I have to constantly say it. And to be candid, starting out to say that then was feeling so strange, and eventually I have to cultivate the habit. Eventually, I now got into the flow, and it has become part of my nature now. But before she go on, I think when we now looked at it critically, I realized that I was not raised to be an expressive person, to really verbalize the way I feel. I was raised to feel it and keep it to myself. And that was what I was practicing at the early part of our marriage.
Hoping that the witchcraft in me will be able to.
At least you can see now by my action that I said, I'm marrying you. 21 years now, of course.
Hoping that the witchcraft in me will be able to know what's going on in his mind, that
he loves you.
He loves me. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So it was a big deal earlier in our marriage because I just couldn't understand why you wouldn't say it if you actually love me. The Bible says out of the abundance of the heart. So that means it's not abundance enough in your heart. Because if it is, you should say it.
I've not heard that interpretation before.
I don't understand. No, but anyway, I'll leave it.
Don't defend. So anyway.
I love you. You can't see it.
Okay, so let me just...
I said it twice now, Kemi, in this show. Twice. In less than 30 minutes. Well done, Tola.
I hope it's not upfront.
I mean, what more do you want?
So, but practically, how have been able to walk that path is also being a bit more, like you said, it's what you look out for. you know, because as at that those moments where we used to fight, you don't even say you love me, just say you love me. I decided to switch to starting to look out for his thoughtfulness, is other ways, is non-verbal ways of saying he loves me. You know, when he helps me, when he does something for the children, you know. So I decided to start to see it, you know, and those things made me, you know, I tell myself in my heart that guy loves you. Did you see how he helped you? Did you see how he was able to stand up for you, speak for you, you know, things like that. And that was what helped us through that phase. Of course, I still nag him around it, but I do not have it in my heart as a problem, you know. Like, he gave me water to drink out of nowhere, or asked about, you know, thoughtfulness. I just looked out for non-verbal cues, because I also understand that we come from different backgrounds. We are
exactly
shaped. And I also don't come from a background where I was affirmed as well, you know, which is also still, I lost my father early, so I didn't really have a father. So I also want to be a daddy's girl, so to speak. Yes. So those things are things that, one, you need to be aware of. You know, the first thing is awareness. I'm aware that having a male figure in my life is important to me, and being affirmed by that love is also important to me. And so was important. I had to, one, of course, have a conversation about him verbalizing his love for me, and also me consciously looking out for those signs and not necessarily waiting for the day he will become Shakespeare and start. No, I don't think my husband will become Shakespeare. He's not big on PDA. He's not big on those things, but I see it because he literally has laid down his life for me. So I doubt it. He didn't say it, but he did it. And that's even most important.
amazing. I mean, this is so good. This is so good. Oh yeah, kiss me.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you. I love you. I'm done for. I love you.
How many days?
Oh, Kemi, this is so beautiful and liberating, honestly. I mean, I'm in a very secure relationship, but but even me with my beautiful marriage that I have, this is so liberating. I like the fact that, you know, what you know, people say, oh, love is action, but we as women, we still want to hear it. Yeah, want to hear that we are loved. But now you now focused more on the action, you know, to constantly tell yourself or reassure yourself that this man loves you. And of course, we know that he loves you, but you know, the things he constantly does, because love is action. I mean, I would rather be in a relationship where I love you, you know, being verbalized may be sparing, not, you know, every day, but every day he does things to make my life more comfortable, protecting me, providing, you know, and leading the way he should, than just telling me I love you, which is man, I love you, this man, and the man is an irresponsible man, not living up to his responsibilities. I wouldn't have it that way. So what you've done now, Kemi, is so liberating. I wish a lot of us women, you know, would take a key from this. If your your guy is not verbalizing, you know, his emotions, his love for you, his affection, look at other ways that he does these things. Because let's be honest, a lot of us, but especially men, they are not talkers, you know. So if like, I remember one time we had a seminar on sex in church years back. I don't know if you guys remember this. And someone has said, oh, the husband does not, you know, talk during sex, you know, express how what they enjoy doing. And I remember Pastor Nike came up and said, some of you are saying your husband does not talk during sex. Even when there's no sex, doesn't even talk. Look at his temperament. Is he a talker? If he's not a talker, then don't expect that it is not during sex that he will not start opening his mouth. You know.
Do I talk now?
Yeah, is it during sex? Being outside of sex?
In and out of sex.
Do you want me to answer it?
No, we say we should keep it real.
Should I answer? Thank you. They said to know.
Okay, let's ask the people because
I was your own. Our guest should not answer.
The truth is, I think in and out, if you do it and you enjoy it, naturally, I'm not somebody that is.
Have you switched to sex now?
I don't know.
We're not talking sex.
Okay.
You see, I was in the spirit. I was making a very valid point. Please don't bring sex. No.
If it's good, talk about it. No. If it's not good, talk about it to see how you can improve it. So, but don't let me distract this conversation. So, can I?
On a more serious note, let's focus on what our spouses are doing, what our husbands are doing, what our wives are doing. You know, that communicate love, because I mean, actions. People say actions speak louder than voice or words. So let's focus on that. So that's really liberating. Thank you so much. I like the fact that you guys are vulnerable. You are, giving us, as it is, you are being real with us, and that's what Dele Uwa Talks with us. I mean, we want to keep things real. One day we're going to talk about sex, and we won't be graphical, but we'll be real. Maybe we should invite Kemi and Tola to come and talk about.
What is sex?
You said we're not talking about sex. So let's.
You that was not majoring on it.
It's an area I love, so let's just put it aside. But coming back to what she said, I love the fact that you have both spoken very well. I love the fact that she was looking more at the thoughtful ways, the non-verbal cues.
Yeah,
that is strong. We call it looking at the intention. And when you look at the intention behind anything you're doing, then it goes a long way in helping you to understand your partner. So, and before now, said this is where we want to be. Earlier on, when you are both talking about your challenges, so this is there's a decision that you have made that this is where we want to be. So, when you have a strategic view to the marriage, then you look at the end picture to determine what you do in the current reality. So, because it's already a decision that this is where we want to be, I wrote that down so that I can bring it out for people listening to understand this very well. You are going through a challenge, and I remember that last edition, we still talk about it, that when you focus on problems in a marriage, what you will see might always be impossibility, challenges, and something more problems. But when a challenge comes and you try to view from the standpoint of solution, seeking solution, then you see possibilities
of how it can be
resolved. Then you mentioned something about understanding that everything is about season. And I think that's also a good point. You said it and you both spoke about it. But before we move on, earlier on, Precious said, because we're asking people to put something in there, but she said something before that. He said at 20, PT, like he kept an open eye wide like this. At age 20, then Omochobi said, met my own husband at Ogba, neighbor, as a teenager in Ogba. That's the part that's Lagos, Nigeria. And then Kunle said, met my wife 1999 back in the uni days in the same department. So it was in the same department that they got that from. And Onoba just say, who is throwing punch you? At some point when he was asking questions. So I thought I should just bring that in. And I believe we are all enjoying this. And if something is standing out for you in one word, you can also want to drop it in the comment section, even as we move on. And as we also go on, if you have a question, and I think this is appropriate time, you can start dropping it in the comment section. we can have few more minutes to allocate, whereby we can pick those questions and we can use it to ask our guests before they leave us.
Yep. Thank you so much. I'm having a good time. I'm getting really a lot of wisdom. So my next question. So now you've been on this journey, you've had major challenges, and some of them you've been able to overcome. Some you are kind of working through them, and that's not deterring you. That's not making you change your mind to say, oh, I'm not doing this marriage thing again. I mean, that's highly commendable. But I want to believe that it is not all challenges. You've had some good times. So now let's flip over to the other side. What are the beautiful? Give us an example of the beautiful times that you've had on this journey.
That's a big question. Good.
Ooh,
I just finished. Okay. Beautiful moments. We've had several, honestly, that we cannot even count. And a lot of times, I'm trying to relate it to the conversation at hand, because we've had myriad of stories of beautiful moments where our communication, our personalities, our priorities aligned, and we were able to make progress. One of the things about my husband is also, I believe he has a gift of faith. Is always the one coming with the big ideas, because I am a planner. I am always saying what we can afford and what we cannot, based on what the pocket size looks like. But he's just always saying what is in his heart and what impression he has, and that's it. And my operational sense is saying, okay, how do we make that come to life? So I think that is where our seemingly different personalities that is driving us crazy also come to help us achieve success. So we've had moments like that where okay, for instance, let me talk about our journey to where we are. We currently reside in Canada. Before we met, we knew I had God speak to me about the fact that I'm going to be married to a pastor that God told me. Two, I knew I was going to be living in Canada. Those I knew before I met him. And separately as well, he also had a similar impression before we met. So when we met, it was part of the things that we saw in our vision and our dreams that aligned. Which was great. So after we got married, we settled in, we got comfortable with our lives. And I woke up one day, I just had an impression that it was time. My husband didn't think it was time. And I decided I was just going to keep moving, and hopefully it will come along. At some point, I said my operational self kicked off, and I started moving. And what I saw happen in that instance, or in that story, the story is a bit more complex than that, because then God started to show us signs and that it was ready and it was time for us to move. And then things started to work out. And now when I look back, I'm like, okay, this is a big win for us as a family. We had a family vision and we're able to bring it to life through our intuition, our proactiveness, and we're able to go for it. So we've had a lot of successes that way, where we both come together, we align on a goal and we go for it. So that is one success I can say we've had. And our personality, communication, it all played out throughout the process. And I think that's one big one.
Yeah, there is.
That's a big one.
So we can say something.
Yeah.
So go on.
Sometimes I lose track of time, right? So when I hear 6 years of courtship, dating, 13 years of marriage, 19 years, it feels surreal. It doesn't feel like this has taken all of 19 years.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel the marriage 13 years. It doesn't feel long at all to me, and you know what they say. It's probably because it's been fun, right? If it's been a torture, then 1 year will be
Right.
Like a lifetime.
One day will be like 1 year.
exactly. So I mean, I find it strange. What makes it easy for me to remember the years was that we got married 2010. So at least by the time I do the calculation, it's easy to say, okay, this is how long we've been married. Right? That many times. I think the friendship has helped a lot. The friendship, the ability to play and laugh, you know, and even when you fight, you miss each other, right? And then I would usually tell people this too, that it's not about not fighting. It's about the limits of your fight.
Stop using fights. This is on people think it's
Disagreements, whatever.
In fact, somebody put it in the comment section that because it's good to clarify that they will not take you for someone. I don't want to mention the name or the person. The person is who is the person in the chat. Look, let's move on.
Who is the person?
No, not here. I'm talking about the comment section. Let's move on.
But really,
I
I would say that I mean, for us, we knew from that, no matter the argument, no name calling, no insults,
no insults. Exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't need to now say no beating. There's no point. No name calling, no insult. Beating is not in the.
It's totally out of the question.
In fact, it's not even to be considered.
Quite lightly, because the physical one doesn't even just come to mind. Violence doesn't come there. It's not. So no insults, no name calling, and all of that. Because for us, and it was quite interesting that as young as we were, we agreed on this thing. So even when I said we fought a lot while dating, these things never came up, right? Because we both can be pretty sensitive to words. Both yes. And so the fight will end, but you remember the words.
right.
You remember the things said to you. You remember. Yes. So, and we can be overthinkers. Sometimes I'm the one overthinking. Sometimes she's the one overthinking, and all that. And so I think that it's important to be Christians in marriage, not as a religion. Okay, to be a good person.
Yeah.
To be a good person. That's why we are. Even when we are mad at each other and all that, there are just some things. You see her carrying something heavy, you go and carry it. Although you're angry with her, but you still go and carry it for her. Right? So you're mad at each other. She's asking you what you want to eat. Are you hungry yet? It's like, let's pause. Let's take care of each other and then resume the fight. Right? Yes. And it helps, right? The other day, our younger son was asking her, so why is it that you tell dad everything? And she was like, because he's my husband. And he was like, I don't think you should be telling him. He's 10 years old. So I said, don't worry, you'll soon get there. You understand, right? But yes, they see these things. And I feel it's good for the kids too, that they are in an atmosphere of peace, of security, a safe haven. And so, so Kemi mentioned the big wins we've had as a family, and God has been really, really good. I can't even deny it. But I am even focusing more on the little things, okay, that make you go out and want to go back home. You get home and you are happy to be home.
You're happy you're home. Yeah.
You're home. It's that safe space. It's that lovely space. It takes a bit of work, but the rewards are beautiful. The rewards are very, and that's been our experience. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Can I say something?
Yes, please go on.
You ended up by saying it takes a bit of work, and we've always been saying that it takes work to make marriage work. The beautiful ones you're seeing out there behind the scene, not one party, both parties have committed to it.
Yeah.
Sacrificially, they've committed their time, they've committed their intellect, they are selfless in their approach in that marriage. And therefore, if you like any marriage, then you must also love the process.
Right.
Don't like the marriage and try to run away from what is done
to make it beautiful.
To make it beautiful, walking through the process of making it beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's why you said something also, Tola, that about friendship.
Yeah.
And when an atmosphere is not created, the kind of atmosphere that is free, where each person have the freedom to express themselves without any fear of intimidation. When that atmosphere is there, that friendship atmosphere, it's always a good thing that I can be vulnerable before my partner. And I think it goes a long way. For anyone listening here, you might also, it might be for someone that you might want to pay attention to that the kind of atmosphere you create around yourself and your spouse or your partner goes a long way. And when Kemi was talking, maybe you might also say something around that. But this is very huge. She mentioned something as like a vision. If you listen to her very well, she spoke about how she has a personal dealings on her own side. The husband has a personal dealings of what he wants to become in life and what she wants to become in life. When they came together, discussions were made around all those things. And we always used to say that when you don't have a unified motive, unified vision, unified goal, it will be tough by the time you get into marriage. Because even people that have that unified vision, you've been kind enough to be vulnerable to explain it, despite the fact that you discuss those. And that's what myself and my wife always also tell people. You could just see that even with that, there's still a bit of quarrel, but that unified vision have a way of what I would say is strengthening the two of you.
And a driving force.
And whether we like it or yes, challenges will come. But when those challenges come, what is your overriding decision that you are making? Because some people, because they can't see the end, they will look at the immediate challenge and they will base their decision on that. And that can be very costly because now it's not only going to impact the two of them negatively, but it's going to impact even the children that are coming from there. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Wow, this is going so beautiful. This is that English color so beautiful, or beautifully well.
So beautiful.
It's going beautifully. Thank you. Somebody's you say, let me leave you. So it's going so well, and I'm gaining so much. So my next question is, so how do you inject fun? I mean, let me not. How do you inject fun into your marriage? What are the things you do to keep your marriage going? I mean, this is not working to overcome challenges now, but what do you do? What do you guys do to enjoy your marriage? What are the fun things you do?
Fun. My husband is not I am the fun person.
I'm the fun person.
Right. No, but I think going back to where we talked about the conversation, being friends is very important, and being friends will mean there's fun. So we always have to talk about what do you love, what would you want to see, where do you want to go, and there's also being deliberate about, okay, you know what, we would always have time together, we'll always have vacation, we would always have. I remember when we were in Lagos, Nigeria, as busy as that city is, we had moments where we would just go to an hotel down the road. It's not far from the house. And we'll just be there and we'll go to work from there. It's just that change of scenery and just trying to make that time out to just be together. And there's also the part of joining in each other's and the things we enjoy individually. So for instance, my husband loves soccer. I really don't have feelings for it, so I just let him watch his soccer and I'm by his side running commentary. Who is that one? Although it's always very frustrating for them, right? Who is that one? Oh, is it that one? You know, just trying to embed myself in what he enjoys. You know, similar to when I go to the mall and I'm never coming out of the stores, right?
That's me.
Enjoy it as well, right? So then the things we enjoy together, where ice cream shops, I know we like to go to ice cream shop. We'd like to taste different types of ice cream. So we just randomly go. So it's just those little random moments, but you have to also be deliberate because life can be so busy. Life is so busy and things will not slow down because you want to. So you have to be the one to decide that, you know what, this evening, let's just stroll and go and get ice cream, you know, and creating those moments. Let's take a walk around the park. Very mundane, zero costs, but guess what?
That's it. Yeah.
They help and they make the marriage more enjoyable. And especially in moments of stress as well. What I've noticed is when we have consistent moments of stress, it's likely to be the fact that we've not engaged in a while. So those are the moments we either after church, let's go eat somewhere, you know, just to make sure we are having conversations, we are having alone moments, or the are off to a friend's place. Then we make sure we are together, you know, to take opportunity of those moments. So keeping that fun, and we always have our inside jokes. We always people say couples are always the best gossip partners, right?
Yeah.
We always have those gists, you know. I know when there are conversations going on, even when we have people around, if I get a look from my husband, we'll talk about it. About that, you know. So, and that stems from friendship as well. It's been deliberate.
Exactly.
They say you get tired. I'm like, you're not likely to get tired because you don't get tired of your siblings, for instance. And known since you started out your life, depending on what age, but you still just don't get tired of your sibling. It's because there is something in your mind, in your subconscious, that tells you that this person is in your life and they are in your life. And you always enjoy reliving those moments, those childhood memories and all that makes you laugh and all that. And that's the same thing with our spouses. They are in our life. They're meant to be forever. So enjoying those laughter, even the silliness, and even laughing at one another, those are things that helps you to enjoy each other's company and to go back to those memories much later, and they help as well.
Thank you so much. You've nailed it. I don't know if Tola has anything to add, because you already said it's not even the fun. It's not the fun part.
That's the only part I want to correct. It was my.
That's the only part you want to correct.
The part I needed to correct, yes.
Oh, yeah, correct.
I'm fun-loving. I'm outgoing.
They know your personality.
I just have a lot of fun, but many times I let her take the initiative because.
Okay, that's very magnanimous of you.
You feel me? Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your magnanimity.
Thank you very much. The camera is getting bigger and bigger, but thank you.
Kemi, I mean, I love the way you've articulated these things. Some other persons could have just, you know, approached it from listing out some things. Yes, you still listed out, you know, some activities, but the first thing you said, you know, how friendship plays a big role in being able to bring fun into your married relationship. I mean, if you're not friends with, I totally get you, really, because we are very good friends, and that helps us in planning things, planning for things, and helps our communication. This thing should not enter my eye, please. Plan our communication, the kind of atmosphere we're going to create in our home. So that's really key. And then the second thing you mentioned is being deliberate. Yeah, that's absolutely key. I really love the third thing you mentioned. Be in each other's world. You don't like soccer, you don't like football, but you watch because that's what he's interested in. We always say that marriage is, for marriage to succeed, you have to each member's interest would have to be incorporated and represented. It doesn't mean that you would not be a strong advocate or a strong lover, but don't just brush it aside, okay? Because the other thing that some partners and it runs both male or female, could say, oh, I don't love soccer, let's turn it off. You're always watching soccer, I'm tired of soccer, I want to watch something else. And it could also be on the part of the lady as well, So let's be intentional. He loves action movies, and so he's always watching action movies. I don't like action movies. I'm a romantic at heart. I want to see them falling in love, getting married, having children. Flying. I love vacations, flying all over the world. Those are my genre of movies. But himself and his children, he's initiated them into.
Is it caught?
Himself and his children, they're always watching action movies, blasting their heads off, blood flowing everywhere. That's what they love. I don't like it, but I watch with them. And as I'm watching, I'm running comments. Why did he kill? Where's that one? Did you get this one from? No. This one didn't die. It's just, I'm just being intentional. The children will be laughing, and everyone will be laughing. It's just that's my way of, trying to come into their world. And they also, do that for me. The things I like, at times it's okay. Let's watch what mommy would love, and they will join me to watch, some romance
movie, anything that has to do with how do you qualify it now?
Which one?
Prince and princesses related movies.
What's the one say that one there?
Yes, now.
Looking bored.
So I think
I don't royal movies.
Royal, that's the word. Royal movies. Yeah.
I'm royalty. They're my people.
Salads.
I'm not. She's finished it. Oh, the same thing. Okay.
Which one?
Salad.
I love it. We are here for it. So then be aware of your current status. Is it a stressful season? Try and distress and try and decompress so that that stress doesn't begin to get into us and not affecting our relationship, affecting our work, affecting the children and all these things. So you've nailed it, really. Thank you so much. Let me see. Any more questions?
And we don't have any questions from the group. If you have any question, this is an opportunity because we'll soon be rounding off. So we're rounding off. It's an opportunity to ask your question. But we want to sincerely say a big thank you to everyone. One more question. Okay. Everyone that had taken the time to join. We want to say a big thank you. We believe it's worth the while. We believe so that it's worth the while. And if you have friends who couldn't make it, or you feel some vital things that have been said here by our guests will really be of benefit to them, because before the next 3 hours, it should be uploaded on our Instagram page at Dele Uwa Talks Real. I'll post it in the group with Uwa's beloved handle at Dele Uwa Talks Real, so that you can share it with them and let them be a part of it. And more importantly, remember to always like, share, and also make comments. And let us keep this campaign on. Like when we started, my wife talked about the fact that it's something that we have to talk about very well and almost every time. If someone makes a decision not to be married for a neutral reason, then it's fine. But we don't want people who would make a decision based on the narrative that is going out there. My wife took time to elaborate. She elaborated on this earlier on, so that because some people are disempowered, mere seeing bad examples. And the media also, to some extent, have not actually helped because they project prominent people who, unfortunately, maybe their marriages have crashed and not working. They project it, and millions of people are seeing it. And various comments around it tend to sell a narrative as if marriage is bad, it's not good. As far as we're concerned, it's good. You're saying us, well, we'll be 21 years. Now, they've known each other for 19 years, and now they've been married for 13 years. The couple that we brought in 2 weeks ago, which is also on our page, you might want to go back and watch. They were married, they've been married 23 years. And we'll go on and on. We'll get people who might even be married for a longer time, and also maybe within the age of 2-3 years, so that when they share their perspective and their stories, because it will be peculiar to that space and that season of their life, and someone will be able to relate with that. At some point, we'll major on the aspect of parenting, the aspect of handling, maybe how you manage a teenager, how maybe a toddler, when they come into marriage, how do you manage the dynamics that it also brings? So there's a whole lot of things that we know creates problem in marriages, which we're going to be dealing with. Thank you so much. Practically, in a practical way.
In a very real way.
Yeah. So you said you have one more question. Yes. Since we don't have a question from the audience, then you can just.
Thank you. I'm having a good time, and thank you to everyone who have stayed logged on. So my next question.
And the last.
Well, okay. And
the last major one. There can be offshoots.
A minor one, major and minor.
Okay.
So you've been together now. You've been married 13 years. In what way has this marriage added value to you? Would you say this? I guess it could be termed as a rhetorical question, but I just want to hear it from you. Would you say you're enjoying your marriage? Would you say your marriage has added value to you? And if yes to those questions, in what way? We share an example with us.
Okay. Of course, as you would expect, my answer is yes, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't
rhetoric.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Yeah. So it's an absolute yes. So if I wasn't married, I don't think I'd be here. I don't think I'd have done as half of what I've done, for instance. I began to really understand and appreciate it when the Bible says two are better than one, for they are able to work. So I typically say to people in my marriage counseling classes, for instance, because I do a bit of that, so when I say, oh, we have personality differences and all of that, I would usually say to them too that every big shift we've had as a family has been because of my wife. She's typically the one to start with it. Again, because she's not as introspective as me, right? And so she's more than willing to get in on it. And so I'm fortunate to be married to someone who is very strong in all the places I'm weak.
Wow.
Thumbs up for you. Many thumbs up. Yeah.
The platform, I went for the right name. It's me. It's to my glory. Right. And so that has helped me. Okay, in many places where I am very weak, she's been strong there, and if it had been just me, I would have built a different kind of life and settled there, right? But I won't be here. So so on a grand scale, marriage, and not just marriage to her has been a big blessing. And then with the part of sharing my life, having a confidant, raising amazing kids, being out of the house and not being afraid of the kind of training my children are getting from their mother. Realizing lately that that's a big deal.
Is it?
Yeah.
that I'm away and I'm not worried. What is doing to them? What is she doing to them? Okay, she's away and she doesn't have to worry about those. It's just been. It's just, I'll do it again.
Thank you very much.
Part where I speak. Okay, so for me, yes, marriage has been a beautiful experience for me as a person. I think marriage has built my character because
Good.
because like I said, in terms of my personality type, I can also be impatient because I just want to get going. But marriage has taught me to tone it down. You know, marriage has not tone down my person, but tone down understanding or bringing other people along on the journey. And
Yeah.
that has spiraled even outside of my marriage, even to my work. Right, in how I manage my teams at work is different because I've learned it, you know, through the things which you suffered. My marriage honestly has built my personality.
The training ground.
Yeah, has modified, not changed my person, has modified my personality, and also made me more sensitive as well because I've learned to understand him. Non-verbal cues. I've learned to understand what it means to get into somebody's heads, literally. So that I am grateful for, and also just being having that person is not the Holy Spirit, right? Our spouses are not the Holy Spirit, but as far as having a human you can rely on, it's very important. And he has been that person. You know, I was in a funny situation just yesterday, and I found myself asking, tell me what to do. You know, and it was in the situation where my brain could not just figure out the answer, and I'm like, okay, I just need to ask my husband to just tell me what to do, and that's exactly what I'll do. You know, and that knowing that, okay, it's going to make the best decision for us, for the family, for what's best for you at that time. So I think that's another great thing about being married, and knowing that you have that portion of your heart, portion of brain somewhere, and you can always rely on that person as well. So I think those are two major things. I know I've evolved. I know I have evolved just in the bid to make this marriage work, understand one another, build our working relationship. I have been evolving, and as our personalities also evolve, right? Because as done, we would also be changing.
Yeah.
So not the Tola I married 13 years ago. His name is priorities are different. His vision evolved as well. So I also had to evolve. I also have to support him as it went along. So I think I'm a better person for being married. I respect those that, but for me it has been good, and enjoy being with this guy.
If you're watching, please can we put a round of applause?
Oh my God!
A clapping.
Just put emoji and put it Kemi.
Let's pause to appreciate them.
Please appreciate them. This is so beautiful. So I'm sure you're a testament to the fact that marriage does work.
Yeah. So maybe in one minute, from each of you, maybe a quick encouragement you want to just give. We know we can't give all the encouragement here, but whatever comes to your mind now to just encourage each of you. A minute, 2 minutes. This like we have 4 minutes to go, and we want to make sure that we put an end to it by the next 4 minutes.
Yeah. Encouragement, advice to people who are in relationship. who are having it rough, who are enjoying the marriage, anything like,
or even singles.
Yeah.
Can even be single, because I believe we have people who are singles here, or
Yeah.
people who are in courtship yet to be married.
Yep.
So please, you have the floor.
I just was.
All right. Okay. So, as we heard, there's a whole lot to talk about that we can't possibly exhaust in 1 minute. But this is the way I see it. Marriage is work, like any good thing.
Right.
You want to have money, you work, right? You're having kids, it's work. Any good thing worth having takes input. Right. So that lead you over if it's work, I'm not sure I want to do it. You want to have a good life, you work towards it, right? Which is work that so the beauty of it is it's just two of you, right? Which is that it is the outcome is largely within your control. Unlike your office where one COVID can render you jobless and without but in marriage it's within your control. It's just two of you. Put in the work. And if you're single, ensure that you are going in with someone that is worth it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
And you can both put in the work. And it's 100 on both parts. Right? Put in the work. The rewards are there. The rewards are beautiful. And don't let anyone deceive you that marriages are crashing all over the place. Someone said they are like flights. You only hear about the ones that crash.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any flying successfully, you don't hear about them. And many are working. Don't be deceived. Yours can and will work. Just do what is needed, and you'll have.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that.
And I think I would also come from the angle of for those that are having it rough. It's like we said initially, it's my hope that it's a season, and if it's not, seek help. I understand it could be daunting. In some instances, it might be a stigma. You don't want them to feel like you've made the wrong decisions. But it's better to make the decisions early enough, because conversations with people that if they had peace, if they had sought help early, maybe their marriages would have been able. They might have been able to salvage their marriage. Then for those having it rough as well, also seek wisdom. There is wisdom for everything. Those that have done it before, those that have gone, has it ever occurred to you that when you talk to people, if you're being open to other people that are in other marriages, they tell you almost this exact same thing you're facing, and you thought that it was peculiar to both of you? But there is wisdom for everything. So seek wisdom on how to navigate some of those generic issues as well. And there's the place of prayer. I know people say some people have marriages without praying. They are not even Christians. I get it. But it is the advantage we have. For those that are Christians, an advantage that you can call on a higher being and you can inspiration from a higher being. It is something we also encourage as well. So if you're a Christian, if you're on this call, talk to God about your marriage, because it can also help where you can gain perspective. There are sometimes you get literal instructions on how to deal with your marriage as well. So if you are having it rough and tough, seek help. If it's a season, you can ride the tide of the season, meaning you just be patient, have the right conversations, pray about it. Both parties willing to work on it, you would always ride out that season. And if it's something that is going on for too long, find help, seek wisdom, and of course pray if you're a Christian, or if you're not, just seek having the higher power is always important. We think as Christians is a threefold cord. The Bible says cannot easily be broken. So if God is involved, then you can always call him into situations as well. So I think, which other groups haven't we covered? Singles, I think we've said it. It has to be somebody that is worth it.
Yeah.
Being married is a work of faith, and you cannot figure out everything. You cannot say somebody is perfect from day one. So, but it has to be someone, the shortest cuts for me that I tell singles is, if it's somebody that God can reach, your job is half done. Because
thank you very much for that powerful. Yes.
let's not go into marriage seminar. I know our time is fast spent, but I just thought to cover groups of people as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, this has been. I knew today was going to be a great session, but it's even surpassed my expectations. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think that part is very important. Please reach out before it is too late. Sometimes people reach out when it's totally irredeemable. So when it's almost irredeemable, rather. So please reach out and seek for help. Under our beloved handle, which is my wife's handle, I've posted the email that we have, deluatalksrape@gmail.com. I've put our handles. I've also put the handles of Tola Seedy and Kemi Tola there. Please feel free to reach out to them, follow them, and get to, if you don't know them before now, follow them and get to know the beautiful things that they are doing, how they are impacting the world, impacting lives. God. So be a part of their life and let them be such people that can enlighten you and make you better at what you do. But if you ever need help and you don't know anybody to go to, you can go to them. If you have to come to us, that's why that email is there, deluatalksrape@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Like I said, in another 3 hours, on max 4 hours from now, this video will be uploaded. Please share it to as many platforms that you know, and let us keep spreading the news. And I think one thing we said we'll do today is we want to encourage people out there. You know your marriage is working. Not everybody can come to this Insta Live, and it will not be, we won't run this Insta Live and this campaign forever, because at some point where we feel the need is going to stop, we'll divert into other things. But you can keep one thing going. You can do like a 1-minute video of how your own marriage is working, and you can tag us, tag our guests as well, so that we can help also repost. Either it's on Instagram, or you want to do it on Twitter, or you want to do it on Facebook, any of the social media platforms. Please do that and let us keep the movement on. That is the whole essence. The campaign doesn't end at the event here. It ends when you take it on and you put it out there. It might not necessarily even be a video. It can be a test. Then also do that and make sure you tag us as we take it from there.
There's nothing more to say. Thank you, and thank you everyone that have joined and remained on the program. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time when we bring you another amazing couple to share their experience for us to learn from. That'll be on the 24th of June. 2
weeks from now.
Keep it a date. Thank you so much, guys. We love you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Yes, let me try to copy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We love you. Thank you so much for honoring us. Thank you. Bye.